wanted to create some slime effect that would be permanent. I'd never have to replace, it would never go off, it would never lose its sliminess, its viscosity. So after a lot of research online, I actually decided to go with personal lubricant. So that was a fun day shopping at Coles. I went into Coles and I bought this 2 baskets full of personal lubricant. I cleared them out and I felt really dodgy going through Coles. So to make it a little bit sus, I bought a Mars bar as well. So going through the checkout, baskets of lube and a Mars bar. Good day. But then I realised that personal lube does not pour into tubes nice and easy. So what I had to do after I coloured it, I had to suck it up in a straw and blow it down the tubes. It took hours and hours. It was a horrible experience.
Welcome, Friday Supernova, 100 Supernova shows. Brisbane people, how are we all doing? Some autographs. Now, I'm your MC for this panel. My name's Scott. You're not here to see me, which is fine. I don't mind. Are you happy with people to record the panel for you? Yep. So normally we would say don't take any photos or videos, but these lovely people here are more than happy for you to record videos and post them to socials. What you've come here to see today is the Queensland Ghostbusters. So the Queensland Ghostbusters franchise are a Sony-approved costuming fan club. This group uses recreations of costumes and props from the Ghostbusters universe to participate in a range of community and charity events. A lot has changed since the group was founded in 2011, and this panel will be a journey through how much the prop making space has evolved in those 13 years. So we have Alex, Matthew, Caitlin and Peter. Please do introduce yourselves.
Hey everyone, so I've got to open with this. Who are you going to call? Okay, I like that. Thank you very much. Well, hi, I'm Matt.
I'm Alex.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Caitlin.
And today's panel is going to be about the props, the tools and the talent of the Queensland Ghostbusters franchise. This right here, these are my current Proton Pack collection. I don't have a problem. I can stop any time that I want to. At least that's what I tell my family. So this is my first Proton Pack here. It's the one on the left of the image. And looking at it today, I can see how completely inaccurate it is. You look at it, you probably see, oh, that's a cool Proton Pack. I can see an undersized cyclotron and an oversized ion arm and all the wrong parts. But back in 2009, this was amazing. So it is nearly a completely timber built, which is an awful method of making a Proton Pack, I've got to say. So yeah, the pack's nearly all timber. The motherboard on the back is timber, the wand is timber, and I've upgraded it over the years as more parts have become available, replaced it with the real parts and everything like that. And I think this pack is really symbolic of Ghostbusters as a whole, and our franchise as a whole, in that you can start with less and build to more.
So I started in 2010, just after Matt did his, and I went the opposite route and kind of started with more, and have realised that I could do it a lot less. I purchased a fiberglass shell, as you can see in the bottom picture, and an aluminium motherboard from the US, and then all of the additional parts on the top are resin that I imported from the UK. So I went the expensive route. All of these parts have been made by makers on the GB Fans forums from the specific plans. These ones that I have laid up are Stefan's plans, but there are a couple of different ones. So yeah, I spent about 12 months putting all this together. All fiberglass. My pack's the second one here in the front. All fiberglass parts, and it's stood up pretty well for 14 years. But if you look closely, you'll see where it is starting to fall apart.
So I'm very, very new to Ghostbusters. I started this year, and I had no clue where to look. I started with a Proton Pack, and I decided that there are a lot of affordable options for Ghostbuster props. The main one being your Spirit Halloween stuff. So like your Spirit Halloween PKE meter, the Ghost Trap, and the Proton Pack. But again, it's perfect for a beginner if you want a Proton Pack, because it's always fun. Yeah, and the PKE meter is, they are very minimal in what they can do, but it's just enough that it's perfect for someone who is starting out with the sounds and the lights, and that's so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so Spirit Halloween weren't the first company that came out with Ghostbuster props. Mattel, I think, were the first company that released retail stuff. I wish we could go back in time and buy way more Mattel stuff because we didn't realize how amazing it was at the time. But yeah, so there's a lot of companies that do it, but Spirit is the main one that is sort of reasonable value that's available now. Like, you can buy all this stuff on Amazon today. One of the biggest questions I get from a lot of people that want to start out as Ghostbusters is they get really stuck on proton packs. Either it's a cost issue, a build issue, they don't know how to build it, or it's a weight issue. A lot of people don't like the weight or like the thought of a weight of a heavy pack. I love heavy packs. I'm a bit of a I don't know, sadist.
Trying to be a bit more authentic, right?
Yeah. Well, I think heavy packs for me add to the theatrics of being a Ghostbuster. You're out there with a heavy pack and people can see how you're walking with it and feel the weight. It really adds to that as a character. But yeah, Spirit Halloween provides an answer to all three of those things. So the packs are available for like under $600. You can literally pick them up with 2 fingers. They are so light. And you don't have to build anything. Like, you can build upon them and adding to them and upgrading them and changing them is really easy to do. And that goes for all the Spirit Halloween props. The goggles there. So I have a super expensive pair of actual goggles from the movie with all real parts and everything. Cost me a mint. Those things you can get for $60. You can repaint them and you can add new decals and everything. They look bloody identical. I mean, it's amazing. It's slightly upsetting as well, but no, it's great. As someone who's wanting to expand the Ghostbusters fan community, these are amazing things. Hazard to guess what the difference between these proton packs is. Anyone want to be really smart? What's that?
Cost.
The cost. No, I was going to say the weight. No, I was going to say there is no difference. They're all the same pack. So these are all the same proton pack, or at least they started out as the same proton pack. These are HasLabs. Now, Chelsea over here, who is one of my Ghostbusters, if you want to walk in front of the stage and be a little model for me, Chelsea is rocking a HasLab proton pack. Has that been modified yet?
It has been modified. It has a kill switch in it now, so it'll run continuously. So this pack normally would turn itself off after 2 minutes. So I spent an afternoon with another Ghostbuster, Kurt, and we both did our packs with a new kill switch, so it will run continuously.
Okay, so a HasLab proton pack, a basic HasLab, how they were released, is on the left of your image. Now, what is a HasLab? Alright, so HasLab proton packs were a crowd-funded project released by Hasbro. Invention of 3D printing. Last year I was finally able to achieve my dream of making a TVG proton pack. Alright, so this is also started out as a HasLab pack. It is a Frozen Empire proton pack. Again, most of the parts on this have been 3D printed parts that are just slotted in and fit in to change it. I've got a couple of real-world parts. The muzzle guard is like a machined aluminium, but again, most of it's just pop-on 3D printed parts. 3D printing has really just revolutionized our whole approach to prop making and ghost busting. And
this is my 3D printed proton pack shell. It is very durable. It's currently a work in progress, but I hope to have it finished in the near future. It's all based on the QPAC MK3.1 files by Mark Carabelli and Quinton McInnes. These files are available freely on through Facebook. The QR code takes you to the 3D printed Ghostbusters group page. It is very simple to print and put together proton pack. It just requires lots of time and filament. As you can see in the back here, that's all of the sections that had to be bolted and glued together. And then I've painted it black at the front. But it started as a nice lovely shade of teal and pink. And then I have also printed my son for the Halloween party a micro version of the real Ghostbusters proton pack, which is done by Ghostbusters Props on Patreon. So the scene with 3D printing has really changed a lot and made it even more accessible than it previously was. You can print extra bits to add to packs like the Spirit pack and the HasLab pack, or you can just print your entire proton pack to movie accurate dimensions with a large enough 3D printer. And it's very simple and relatively affordable compared to my previous attempt at a proton pack.
My approach to the proton pack is completely different to what the other guys have done. 10 years ago, I decided that I wanted to actually learn how to weld. I didn't know how to weld aluminium. I had welded steel and that, and I made a big leap that I needed a project that would keep me sort of entertain and persevere and learn how to weld aluminium. And one of the things I really enjoyed as a kid was Ghostbusters, and I went, hang on, here we go, I want to make an aluminium proton pack. Is there such a thing? I found the GB Fans site. I found the plans from Stefan that Alex showed earlier, and I also found that there was 2 other aluminium proton packs in existence at the time. One completed, one being built. The completed one, I think it pulled in at about 28 kilos or something. The guy used really heavy metal, literally. And I thought, no, I don't want to do that. I wanted to make it light enough. I want it to be as authentic as I can. And so I set myself quite a challenge to keep myself entertained. And so this is the journey of this particular pack here. One of the interesting things that was touched on a bit earlier is no matter what you make your pack out of, whether it's store-bought, made out of paper mache I've seen online, 3D printing, they all tend to look the same at the end. So it robs a little bit of the effort that goes into some of them. So I'm just going to expose a little bit of that effort here. You can basically see what you start with, just raw materials, flat plate aluminium and tubes, a set of plans, itself. And the key piece of the puzzle obviously is you need a welder, all right? One is measure twice, cut once, which is that old adage. But then you learn when you fold aluminium, you need to allow for the thickness of the aluminium. Otherwise, everything starts scaling up 1/16 of an inch. And then when you bring it all together with parts, nothing fits. And again, it's a rinse and repeat episode. Just keep building and building. But some parts of the proton pack are a little bit more challenging than others to make out of aluminium. And what I had to start learning is how can you actually fold aluminium and create nice little easy smooth shapes, because it's really hard to weld very small parts of aluminium. I'm sure pro welders can do it, but pseudo-novices like me can't. On this slide, this is a little bit of a collection of some of the more complex parts coming together. The ladder rail there, in the movie props, there were actually a couple of grey lead pencils, a bit of Masonite, and some rubber strip. In this one, I actually machined all that out of aluminium in pieces and brought it together on the GB Fans site, because I was sharing this build, and with my mates telling me don't paint this pack, just leave it aluminium raw, it looks so cool. But in my heart, I just wanted a proton pack to hang on the wall. I was never going to do the cosplay thing. It is a slippery slope. And in the end, I realised I can still buy flashlight globes on eBay. So I bought a packet of flashlight globes and learned how to cut them with a Dremel just to take the glass out. And that's what you're seeing on the end of the tip of the wand there, just to add that little bit more spice to it all.
I was going to say, yeah, so I've never internally seen this pack until we were preparing for this panel. And my first thought is, oh my God, that is the neatest thing I've ever seen in my life. So inside my ABS and my fiberglass shells, holding my lights in are Coke cans cut in half.
In that photo you can see the vent smoke coming out of the end filter down the bottom. But I think it came out really good. I was really happy. It goes in pride of place in my theatre room on the wall. But it started something in me that I didn't think was there. Like, mission successful, learnt to weld, kind of blew my own mind that I could build something like this. I was kind of chuffed for a little while. My wife will say I just couldn't stop looking at it. I wouldn't look at her for a while. What happened is, next thing I know, I've got a flight suit, I've got a PKE meter, I've got a second proton pack. I'm not up to 15 or whatever.
It's a gateway drug.
It's a what?
A gateway drug.
Yes, but now meeting these guys and being able to participate with the Queensland Ghostbusters, I'm actually having the opportunity to attend charity events. We've got a Royal Children's Hospital one coming up. And I look forward to actually using this, doing something I enjoy, but also providing back to the community. And even events like this, people that are interested, love talking to them. So it's been really good. So thank you all.
As you can see, the 3 men beside me are very well versed in proton packs.
Can I just ask you a quick question?
Sure can.
Are you a god?
Maybe. Me, not so much. I bought mine. I wouldn't be able to tell you what the inside of one etc. would do. But I always, the thing about Ghostbusters is it brings out your practicality, and especially when you look into the originals and how much of it is the most random accessories that you could find. And I thought, I'm joining this group, what can I bring to the table? And I always loved makeup and costuming, and there are so many characters in Ghostbusters, and I thought, you know what? I think every Ghostbusters team needs a gozer. What are they supposed to fight, so simple to do if you're looking into doing it, and it's pretty easy. You don't have to be crafty. I bought a little hose connector, the one that plugs into the little outlet, painted it grey, and then put the end of it that you stick into a yellow hose I got from Mitre 10. And then all I have to do is tie it onto the leg where I sewed it on, and boom, you have a very simple and easy leg hose. I thought I would also bring some slime, because what's Ghostbusters without slime, as we've heard. Mine, fortunately, isn't made of lubricant. It is just slime that I just sealed, and then I made little belt gadgets so that I could put some slime in there, because my belt is very bare.
I think the cool thing about being a Ghostbuster too is you can make it your own. Like, none of us, with the exception of Gozer, of course, play anyone from the movie, right? None of us is Venkman, none of us is Stans. We're all ourselves as Ghostbusters, and Ghostbusters is one of those unique things in the cosplay community where you are yourself. Even though you're being a character, you're still yourself. So yeah, with Caitlin's stuff with the slime and stuff, she's made it her own, so it's uniquely Caitlin.
Yeah, I try. And yeah, I was asked to present as Gozer, something I had not had ready yet. I'd done the face, the makeup before. I did not have an outfit. I can sew, but I can't sew like a full outfit. So I purchased the costume off Amazon. I got it, and I was like, this is really boring. There was like 3 baubles on here. I was like, what can I do? Thrift shops are your best friend. And I think that's why this group is really important, because there's no judgment and you can bring whatever you can to the table, and it's always really appreciative, and I really like that, yeah.
So when I got my first Proton Pack, and I was similar to Peter, I never really anticipated doing the whole costume, but once you have the pack, it's like, okay, I'm going to get the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, maybe that flight suit's starting to look good.
That's right. When I started this, I had no anticipation or no idea that anyone else would want to be a Ghostbuster. I thought I was just going to be doing a solo thing. So I had no plans for a franchise, and then I met Alex. So Alex tracked me down on Facebook, and eventually saw my pack and built his own. In 2016, with the launch of the all-female Ghostbuster movie, Ivan Reitman and Dan Aykroyd in America, they created Ghost Corps, which is the company that controls everything Ghostbusters, and they realized that there was this huge fan community around the world. There were franchises popping up, and rather than shutting us down, they chose to embrace franchises. They saw us as a great asset, and so they reached out to groups and they said, hey, if you want to register all your details and become an official franchise under Ghost Corps, under Sony, you can do that. So yeah, sent through all our info, and we got sent a welcome pack with a certificate signed off by Ivan Reitman, which was really cool. Right, this weekend is Supanova 100. Oh my god. This is our first ever event, Supanova Brisbane in 2011. Look at those baby faces, my god. So moving on, this is where our franchise sits currently. So in the big group photo, that's most of our members. I think we're maybe missing 2 or 3. That was at the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire premiere. Scott showing himself there. Yeah, so wonderful Scott, who's helping out being an MC today. He's also one of our team, one of our busters. Because we have a great relationship with Sony, that was such a fun event. The lady laying down in the front, that's actually our Sony rep, Karen. Got to suit her up for the premiere. She got to run around and experience being a Ghostbuster. That was great. And because we have a cool relationship with Sony, we get to do great stuff like set up at Dreamworld. That was one of our setups with the huge 25-foot Stay Puft stuff. So we do special visits. So this is for kids who may be sick, or otherwise just having a rough time in life, kids that are being bullied. We do visits with kids who are terminally ill. So those visits are really special. You know, if the Ghostbusters fans, we go out and we can do a last visitation. And whilst it's really important to give that for the child a special moment, it's really important creating those special memories for the families as well. Because when you're going through that kind of thing, there aren't that many positive memories that exist. So I've got a lot of messages from families after it's all happened, and just saying thank you so much. Like, in the last 6 months we don't have any positive memories, but that day you came out and you spent an hour with us and you gave him a ride in the car, that was just the most special memory for us in those 6 months. So that's really important. And like Peter mentioned before, we do children's hospital visits. We do the Halloween parade every year. It used to be over in Manly. Now it's held in Wynnum. That's like, I think the biggest crowd we've ever got there is 60,000 people. It's just an insane experience. If you see the little photo of kids up there, so every year we had random kid cosplayers or kids in costume coming up with their parents saying, hey, can we walk with you? And we were always like, oh yeah, okay, but we kind of wanted to formalize it a bit more because every year more and more people were coming. So last year for the first time we trialed our fan section in the parade, so it invites anyone in the community, doesn't matter what standard of costume they've got. If they're a Ghostbuster fan in a costume, come walk with us in the parade, get to feel like a rock star for 20 minutes, and it's just really great. We did it again this year, and we're getting people coming back year after year to do it, which is really cool. All right, thanks very much for hearing us. So I'm Matthew from Queensland Ghostbusters.
I'm Alex.
I'm Peter.
I'm Caitlin, and are you a god?